things, and I'm not familiar with the conversion rates. Because I see it on eBay, I'm like, oh, that's not too bad, especially for a Judge. I mean, I can't find a Judge Dredd pop vinyl here in town, or we've been to several conventions that have the pop vinyl stuff, and then I see it online. I'm like, $7.95, $8.95. Maybe it's £8.95.
Do they like that one?
Yeah, the guy with the creepy face.
Amazon, $9.02.
That's what I'm saying. Okay,
Just buy that.
okay, just buy it for me.
Okay.
Just click the button.
Fine.
I'll give you my mailing address. Happy early Arbor Day to me.
So if anybody wants to buy you a pop vinyl, what would be your top 3? Ooh, RoboCop looks really cool.
Yeah, the RoboCop one's cool. Well, Judge Dredd is definitely number one. I've got to get Judge. I'm a huge Dredd fan. Dredd's number one. Probably followed by, we were just talking about Magneto. I need
for
Magneto.
your bad guys.
This is my bad guys and badasses collection. You got to say it like that.
No,
to,
that you
for real
don't.
effect. It's so badass. The
Badasses. The
super,
badasses and the bad guys.
super bad guys.
So bad.
And there is a 4 or 5 different Thundercats that I've 0 of them. I know there's Panthro, Lion-O, Mum-Ra. Gotta have Mum-Ra. So
but the other ones, they're not that bad ass. They're just bad. Or they're not even bad. You can't get Lion-O. Come on.
Have you seen Thundercats ever in your life?
Yes, I have.
They're badass.
They're not that. He's not
they
that.
Are
He's
badasses. I have Herschel from The Walking Dead. He's the ultimate badass. And if you disagree, I encourage you to go back and watch seasons 1 through 4 of The Walking Dead. 2 through 4. I don't think he's in the first season.
No, he's not in the first season.
And spoiler alert, he ain't in this season either.
I've not watched Walking Dead. I watch it on Netflix, so I kind of have to wait a few months after the season ends.
Well, you're going to be really out of luck then this summer when Fear the Walking Dead comes on, the spinoff.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard positive things about it, but is it really going to be that much amazinger?
It probably won't be any more amazinger because, number one, that's not a real word. And number two, you can't. The first one is going to be incomparable. I mean, that has done great stuff for not only zombie media, but just for the horror genre on TV in general. So, I mean, any new horror movie or TV show, rather, that gets put out there that raises awareness of the genre is fine by me.
Like iZombie?
No, that's not horror. It's like kitsch teeny bopper nonsense.
No, but she's a zombie. She eats brains with another guy.
She's not a zombie. In the first episode, they established that she has a heart rate of 12 beats per minute.
You can't see him. He is losing it over here.
Seething. I had to wipe the foam away from my mouth. They said in the first episode, I saw a preview of the first episode at Wizard World, and based on that, I'm not interested in the rest of the show. They said that she's not dead. She has a resting heart rate of 12 beats per minute. That is clinically alive. And also, she's like, at least in the first episode, she's like the only zombie like in the world. Like the zombies attacked this boat. She was at a boat party. Yeah. It was like 1,000 people, not 1,000, but there was like, 50, 60, 70 people. It was the Love Boat. There was like at least 50 plus people on here. I think she was the only one that got attacked, or they all got attacked. She's the only one that somehow turned into a zombie.
In further episodes, you find out that there are others that got attacked.
Did you? Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife likes the show.
Oh, okay. Well, and that's all well and good, but like, it just to me, it felt like I don't know. It was tough because it was clear they were trying to create something different, and I'm all about different, but I don't know. They tried very hard to make a lot of zombie references that they probably thought were like tongue in cheek, but just came across as like. I roll my eyes. I'm like, okay, I get it. You guys know what the Night of the Living Dead is. Congratulations. I don't know, because then I do give them credit for at least referencing, like all the other zombie things you see. Yeah. It's like the people in that world of the TV show or the movie or whatever have never even heard of a zombie before. Like they try to pretend like the genre doesn't exist.
Like Walking Dead. There's no Romero.
Right. They're not
jokes
like,
or
hey, this is like, this is like a bad 80s movie or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
we got to get to an amusement park because we can. Right. We can protect ourselves with the rules.
Let's go to the mall. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not all bad, but for me personally, in my extremely tight amount of free time, I don't have time to commit to it right now.
Are you watching anything good right now?
Just the usual suspects. Game of Thrones is back in full throttle, which is awesome. No, not love this slow burn character stuff. Winter is coming. I don't know if you knew that.
I've heard on Twitter that this Winter guy...
Newsflash. Winter is coming.
Jason Winter is coming.
I like it.
And his brother Jeremy.
Jason and Jeremy, the Winter twins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
Her sister, Summer.
Oh, Summer, Winter?
Mm-hmm.
Autumn. Yeah.
That's her twin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Winter with a Y.
Winter.
Winter. Yes. No, that's been a good one. We are now, I think, 23 or 24 seasons in to easily one of the most captivating shows I've ever seen, and I hang on every word of every episode. I love Survivor. Is an amazing show. An amazing, like, it's such a social experiment, and you put people in there and they're like, okay, we just want to have some fun and do good, and then they start lying to each other and being evil, and it's like the things that these people do when they think the other ones aren't watching or aren't listening. It's just, it is an amazing social experiment. I am a big fan of. We watch Amazing Race as well, which is similar in the fact that there's teams and challenges, but nothing touches Survivor. Nothing.
Because it's completely and totally a mental game. Is that what you figure?
It's very much a mental game, yes. There's definitely, and it's been interesting to watch over the years the people who have won it, because it's not like the same type of person who wins every year. One year, like the really conniving person will win it, and then the next year, a pretty good person will win it. The next person, the next year it might be somebody who kind of skated their way all the way into the finals or something like that. So it's a very interesting show, just because it's so different, and there's a lot of mind games that go into it, and it's 40 days of people removed from society, so they don't have to worry about what the people at their job are going to think. They think about their family, but their family's not there. They don't have to worry about things like money, and it's just it's very intriguing. I mean, I promise, if you've never seen Survivor, if you start at the beginning of a season, any season really, and start watching it, you'll know pretty quickly whether it's for you or not. And if it's for you, you'll be hooked indefinitely.
Do you think you would do well in Survivor?
Oh God, no. No, from a social aspect, I think I would do well, but I am such a picky eater. Like, all they have is like rice and bugs, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna need this to be a round of Dominoes or something. Like, I feel like the non-Survivor man version.
Survivor.
Right. The
Pittsburgh.
Yes,
I'm going to
exactly.
go for that one. I think I'm going to go apply for Pittsburgh.
Well, pretty much it does exist. It's not nearly as popular. Big Brother would be the non-Survivor-y version of Survivor.
But
where
you
they're
have
in a
to
house
look amazing to be on that show.
That's another prerequisite that I can't handle. So
my wife likes Big Brother. Her and her parents get into Big Brother and Survivor, and any reality show.
Yeah.
I can't do.
Really?
I've never been able to get into any of that.
See, I'm not a huge reality fan, but because I can't watch like a Dance Moms or Real Housewives or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the ones that there's an air of competition, I think for some reason, that brings out the human element pretty seriously. One that I'm very much into, and it's largely because of my wife, Emily, and a lot of her friends, is on Logo. It's RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, jeez.
Phenomenal. An amazing show. Hilarious. But then they have these moments where the guys are talking about like why they got into drag and how it's like helped them through the rough spots in their lives. And it's like, it's a serious, it reminds you that these are not characters in a show. These are people. So I don't know. I mean, reality TV is not for everyone, and all reality, just because you watch reality TV doesn't mean you like it all. So just like any shows, you pick and choose what you like.
I don't like any of them.
It's fine, and that's your prerogative.
It's my prerogative.
All right, Bobby.
Isn't that RuPaul's show's theme song?
No.
Oh, it should be.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Trademark. Well, I want to. I think this is. We need to talk about Avengers.
Okay.
We haven't really talked about Avengers. The last time that we were together, was at the Foolery.
Yeah.
And by the time this goes out, it'll be 3 weeks.
It'll be weeks and weeks
plenty
past.
of time for people to have gone and seen Such a great movie. Such a great
It's phenomenal.
movie.
I need to see it again, especially before I've now started to move on to other summer blockbusters. I went to see a big one last night, and now it's like I think I need to see Avengers again to keep it fresh in my brain.
Yeah.
So
should we not talk about it?
no, let's absolutely talk about it.
No.
I'm just saying I'm going to see
We
it
should
again.
just. I wonder if a theater would ever allow us to just go in there with microphones and watch the movie and talk about it
I don't
just
know.
as it goes. They probably wouldn't.
They probably wouldn't allow us to, but if we found like a Tuesday 11 a.m. showing where we're the only ones there, we could probably just do it.
So we're gonna record. You're gonna record the movie. We're calling the cops. No, that's not what I said. All right, so I don't even know where we should begin. There's so much. Okay. So before Maggie and I went and saw it, we saw it at Metropolis, and we saw it the day of the release. I know you saw it the day before the official release. We saw it, and then before we went to the movie, we went to get dinner, and I was wearing an Avengers shirt. And the hostess was getting ready to seat us, and she said, "Oh, have you seen the new movie yet?" I said, "No." And she said, "I saw it a few days ago." And I asked her, "So what do you think?" And she stopped, and she thought about it for a second, and she goes, "Well, it's not the first one." And that's all she said. She just said, "It's not the first one." So I'm sitting there trying to enjoy dinner.
Sure.
And in my brain's like, well, is it worse? Is it bad? What's going on? Could we go, oh, I don't know what to do. And so we finally get to the theater. We get into great seats. We watch the movie, and I think I like it a little bit more than the first one. And I think the reason why, and this is going to make no sense, but it might make sense to some people in this world. I think I like it better than the first one because the first one existed. They were able to do things in the second one that didn't need a whole lot of pretense and explanation. It was just, here we go.
Sure.
And we're in it. Just like that opening scene. By the way, this is going to be chock full of spoilers. I'm just letting everybody know that right now. We're going to talk
Spoiler
about
alert.
everything. But from that opening scene where it's just they're all fighting and everybody has their attitudes and personalities that Marvel has built up, I loved that moment.
Yeah, it was really cool. My guess is that comic book fans appreciated Age of Ultron probably a little more than the first Avengers, even though they're both very close.
Yeah.
Non-comic fans, people who were just know the majority of what they know about the Avengers from the movies, probably feel more attached to the first one. Because the first one is like a first issue of a comic book.
Yeah.
And then Age of Ultron is like the first major story arc after the comic book has been out and has been established for a little while.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So that's why I think that we were engaged probably a little bit more than the average person, because we kind of had that mentality like, here we go.
It's go time. We're past episode 1. We're past
It's on.
book 1. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's do this now. Anything jump out at you? Anything that you really want to? There are so many good moments in this movie. I felt like Joss was just sitting behind the camera going, I can do whatever I want, and I'm gonna do this.
And I mean, I have to give him credit, because in the 2 hours and 34 minutes or whatever, how long it is, he shoved in a lot more than any other human probably could, like in terms of the sheer giggity. in terms of the sheer amount of just the amount of characters, the amount of character development, which I know that it didn't always work out. You know, like I think the primary culprit, or the primary one that should have been shown more, was was Thor and his side story with the water of light? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I feel like that felt very rushed. Like as my brain was struggling to comprehend everything and suck it all in after the movie was done, I was like, how did he got there with Selvig, and they got there somehow? Like I couldn't remember that particular piece of the puzzle because it felt ancillary to the rest of the story.
Do you think that he purposely did that though because of Ragnarok?
I doubt it, honestly. He probably did it because Disney was like, you have 2.5 hours. Anything more, people aren't going to want to sit through it. And he was like, well, crap, it's either this or Hawkeye's family. And he probably made the right choice. Probably made the right choice in what to cut. And I wonder if it was Disney's call or Joss's call to be like, you know what, no post-credit scene this time. because I wonder if they were like, people are done. They're not going to sit there anymore. I mean, and even the mid-credits scene, I would have
Disappointment.
I would have rather seen Howard the Duck again.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest.
Okay, so mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
You want to explain it? You can explain it.
Sure.
You sound better on the microphone than I do tonight. I don't know why I sound
I don't know.
nasally and horrible.
I do have some background info about the mid-credit scene as well, because the mid-credit scene, as you know if you've seen the movie, is starting with the Infinity Gauntlet, and it opens up from a locked box, and then Thanos puts it on, and he picks it up and he says, "All right, I'll do it myself," and then it cuts to black, and that's literally all you've got. So I bet Josh Brolin got paid $100,000 for that one line. I bet, but I digress. So then the fanboys start flipping out because they're like, well, the Infinity Gauntlet, how did he get that? Because we saw in the first Thor movie that the Infinity Gauntlet is in Odin's vault, where they keep all the Tesseract and all the other things. And so really astute.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yes, exactly. All those Amelia Earhart, all the greats.
I thought you were going to say Emilio Estevez.
All the Mighty Ducks were there. All the Ducks. They were in the Flying V formation. It was great. No,
that's what took on the Destroyer.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Perfect. So, but yeah. So immediately some people start carping. How did that happen? We need to know the backstory. Really astute viewers, and I can't say that I got this right away, but the more I thought about it and the more I helped put the pieces of the puzzle together by looking at the pictures, we'll see that when Thanos puts on his Infinity Gauntlet, it is the left-handed gauntlet.
Which is the hand that he uses in the comics.
Correct. In Odin's vault, you can very clearly see, you go online, just Google it and find a screen capture, that is a right-handed gauntlet, which if you think about it makes sense. Who makes one piece of a pair of gloves? There's going to be a pair of gauntlets, a left hand and the right hand. Now, I will say that the one in Odin's vault that they showed in Thor appeared to have all the gems in place. So whether those were just like marker, like fake gems, just like marker gems, or whether something happened to it, that's anybody's guess. But so that raises the question, obviously, are the gauntlets powerful enough by themselves? Would they be more powerful or paired together, or do they have to be paired together? Are there gems for each side? I mean, there's some interesting questions there.
I don't think that the one that's in Odin's vault, that has to be fake stones.
I would assume so.
If anybody was to say no, that is those are real stones. Loki was in there enough times.
Yeah.
Everybody was in there enough times that anybody could have grabbed up that gauntlet and been like, okay,
right.
I'm King Koopa now.
Right. Well, yeah. And what are you going to say? There are 2 soul gems and 2 time gems, and because all the gems weren't on there because the Tesseract was in there already elsewhere, and Loki's scepter, I believe, was probably already in existence. So I mean, yeah. So the other stones were already elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well,
interesting questions.
I can't ask Josh now because he's no longer on Twitter, but I would love to ask him what was up with that. Was that forced? Did Disney or Marvel come to you and say? Because I'm hearing rumors that that second movie he did not have a very good time with Marvel
On Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
Well, I believe that. I mean, because now, if you just think about it, the cinematic universe and Marvel in general is in a vastly different place, even than when Avengers came out. I mean, when Avengers came out, they were still huge and making it big, but I think honestly, once Guardians of the Galaxy was as massive of a hit as it was, Marvel was like, okay, this is very real, and we gotta make sure that this is all on point from here on out, So I don't know. I mean, the one thing I will say that they have been good at is planting very, very subtle seeds in the other movies that do come to fruition later on. So this very well could be a planned thing to have the 2 different gauntlets there. It might be something that they're going to work with later on down the line. I mean, we know there was a ton of those seeds planted in Guardians, even through the collector's room and, seeing Adam Warlock's cocoon and then seeing it smashed open towards the end and things like that. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. Winter Soldier had some, and Marvel VIPs, not to stray too far away from Age of Ultron, but Marvel VIPs have been pretty coy with their answers. Like my biggest one, because I'm a Punisher fan, is in Winter Soldier. There was two different times in Winter Soldier where a nondescript yellow moving truck really helped Cap out of a jam by smashing a bad guy out of his way at an opportune time. And it wasn't Kevin Feige, but it was one of the other Marvel bigwigs who somebody asked him about that, and they said, they quoted, went on record as saying, the driver of that truck is someone with very specialized skills. And Frank Castle has worked with Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. in the past. So, they've got somewhere there's a room in Disney or Marvel headquarters where there's just like a wall full of strings connecting to other strings, connecting to names. I know it. I just got to get in there. So,
man, I didn't catch that before. Well, but you're the big Punisher guy. So
I'm a Punisher guy. So. But yeah, there's a ton out there, a ton. Like people are even saying like that, in Guardians they showed Cosmo, which was the name of the dog in the spacesuit.
Yep.
And in the Guardians comic book, he is like he is a sentient being. He was shot out into space by the Russian space program and then went through some cosmic rays. And he is like in the comic books, he is the security chief of Nowhere. And he can talk through telepathy and things like that. So people are like, well, are they going to use him in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? And is he going to be this and that? And
is he his father?
Is Howard going to be? Yeah. We have no idea what they have in store. And that's kind of the cool thing for the cinematic universe, to be able to depart from the comics a little bit. I know there's a lot of people that were saying, like in Age of Ultron, that they didn't like that Ultron had so many, he was so human-like, and that there were so many moments of comedy in the movie and things. I'm like, that's why it's a movie and not a comic book, because it is in its nature different, and it has to be different to entertain people.
Yeah, I thought Ultron was going to be much more gray and neutral and just not be as sarcastic as he was. Very, very much James Spader. If you watch The Blacklist, what you saw in Ultron was very much his character in The Blacklist.
Right. Well, and what I saw was James Spader playing a character that has some of Tony Stark's personality ingrained in him. That kind of snarkiness too.
Oh, that cockiness?
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I think some of that comes from.
That's a... So. Way to go, Wheaton. Freaking Wheaton.
I know, right? Freaking Will Wheaton. Yeah. Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
You ruined me, Will Wheaton.
Any parts of the movie really jump out at you? Anything? I know for me, I was a big fan of the running gags.
Yeah.
And Cap's language was probably the one that always I don't know what it was about it. It fit so perfect with it. I don't even know how to explain it. There was a moment where they were sitting at Clint Barton's house, Hawkeye's house, and then a widow says something. She calls him out on something that he said, but it was so like you kind of think, oh, they're done with that joke now,
right? And
then it just gets brought back up like that. Stuff like that just. I love. It helps it feel real, because that's like, we do the same thing with our group of friends. When we get together, we'll reference something stupid that happened weeks ago, and things like that. It makes it feel like they are less of individual characters having to be together in a movie, because that's what it is, and more so it's a team that is working together as best they can, and very, very human, and with moments of humanity, even though some of them are more than human or whatever. Yeah. So. Any small moments through the movie that you just really jumped out at you? Something that you thought was well played?
One of the coolest things, and again, this goes back to those subtly planting the seeds for future thing. There was one specific moment with the Vision, which I was so glad that the Vision got in there, because he's long. For me, I'm not a huge Avengers comic book fan, but I'm very familiar with them through my Marvel dealings. And the Vision has always been, to me, one of the most intriguing characters because of his background story and things like that. And in the comics, the Vision actually marries the Scarlet Witch, and they are together. And there was that scene towards the end of the movie when he whisks her off the floating city that's about to careen to the earth, and he picks her up, and she kind of looks at him and gives him that, no, my hero look, and I'm like, they're planting the seed, they're falling in love. So yeah, I don't know, little things like that make me happy, because it's things that don't detract from the average person's enjoyment of the movie, but for like deep hardcore fans or people who want to go back and watch it a second time after they have that knowledge, it's something extra for them.
To kind of be looking for as when she first sees him, and then no, I like that. I liked the subtle but not so subtle beginning ramp up of Civil War.
Yeah,
that bickering between Captain America and Iron Man, just those disputes that they were having.
Sure.
It wasn't the official Civil War disputes, but you could tell they just have never seen eye to eye.
Right.
And I'm very, very excited about watching Captain America just saying "screw you, government," and me and my friends are going home and later. I'm very, very, very excited about that.
Yeah, and it also, again, they once again have planted the seeds, because I think that Tony Stark is now so remorseful about the whole Ultron thing that when it comes time for the registration, he's going to be first in line. He's going to be like, we have to pony up and do what's quote-unquote right. We have to let someone else give a system of checks and balances. So that makes sense from that standpoint as well. So,
do you think Robert Downey Jr. is coming back?
He's definitely, from my understanding, he's definitely in Civil War.
Yep.
From there, I'm not sure. I don't think there's any more Iron Man movies planned. I don't think he is officially signed on for the Avengers for Infinity War, for the two-parter. So,
do you think they're going to bring back a lot of the? Do you think Infinity War is going to be like, okay, all of our universe is going to come together now that they got Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Black Panther's probably going to be out before it, because Infinity War is what, 2018?
18 and 19 are the plans. I believe it's May of each year.
So do you think they're going to have enough time to pull out all these other superheroes?
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, they're going to take some of these heroes, because we've got an Ant-Man movie, and then I have heard that Ant-Man is confirmed to make his second appearance in the universe in Civil War.
Yeah.
So he'll be there by that time. Captain Marvel will be in play by that time. The Inhumans will be in play. I'm not sure how they'll come into play for the Infinity War. If anything, they might be more of a sideline, like a peripheral thing. But what I see some of these new characters making an even bigger Avengers team. Like, I see Captain Marvel and Ant-Man joining the Avengers, Black Panther joining the Avengers team. So there's no guarantee that the existing team, or the Avengers team as it exists at the end of Age of Ultron, there's no guarantee that all of those characters make it to the Infinity War. I mean, nobody says they can't kill off Rhodey or, whatever. I mean, they've already lost one of the Maximoff twins. Who's to say the Scarlet Witch makes it, So, because that could be something that the Vision would have to deal with, these, human emotions, if he's, develops feelings for her and then she dies. So,
wow.
Wah, wah.
That's sad.
That is sad.
Why would you do that? Why would
know.
you bring that up and then...
And then what? Talk about the other.
And we're done.
No,
the podcast is over.
Good night, everybody. Pitch you. Wow, creepy. We did that at the same time. Well, speaking of the other Maximoff twin, I want to ask your opinion on this, because to me, when they killed Quicksilver, my first thought was, I'm like, Whedon just did that because the effing X-Men have a copy of him too, and he didn't want to compete with them the whole time. Like, I'm like, of all the Avengers to die, it's going to be the one that's in the shared universe with the X-Men on screen. Like, did you get that vibe, or did you just feel that way, he was just the one to go?
Initially I did.
Yeah.
Like, when Maggie and I were sitting there watching the credits, she was like, I thought it was going to be Hawkeye. And I was like, yeah, I thought so too. But then they just showed so much of his family and so much of his house. They built him up so much that there was even a part of me that was like, oh, they're going to off somebody else.
If you kill the most human member of the Avengers, you really hate humans.
That makes the most logical sense to me.
Yeah.
Just to keep things clear, that when somebody says Quicksilver, they're like, oh, X-Men. That's where Quicksilver's at.
Yeah.
Did Joss have anything more than that? I think that he needed to show that not everybody makes it all the time.
Sure.
And I also noticed that when they were describing their abilities, that they said that he had an increased metabolism, and I'm wondering if he's not dead.
Quicksilver? Well,
yeah.
With Project Tahiti in play, for those of you who watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., no one is ever truly dead. So,
yeah.
And there are, I don't want to go on too much of a sidebar again, but there are some crazy fan theories out there about the bigger Marvel universe and Project Tahiti and who Phil Coulson really is and things like this. So,
really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard any of that.
I mean...
Is there any that are good, like logistically, like, well, that makes sense?
Yeah, the short version of the one that would seem to make the most sense is that Coulson has some kind of strand of super soldier serum in him. And you remember way back in the first Captain America.
Well, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah, I know. You remember way back in the first Captain America when they showed the kids after Captain America became the big thing and saved the day, and the kids are playing in the street, and there's the one kid who has a Captain America shield painted on the back of a garbage can, and he's in the street. Some super fan is like, that is Phil Coulson, because in the Captain America in the 40s, as that movie ended, everybody there thought that they had lost Captain America. He was in the ice. He was buried, presumed dead. Do you think that the average scientist is just like, oh, well, the one super soldier we made is gone. We're done trying. They would keep trying with other people, injecting them with variations of the super soldier serum. So they say that this kid grows up, young Phil Coulson grows up, gets injected with the serum, and that also affects some of his aging process. That's why he looks still young, and that's why secretly he is mentally a fanatic for Captain America, because he was there. They probably wiped his memory and all this jazz, but he is a Captain America super fan because he was there at the beginning. And so when he died, when Loki killed him, he didn't really die because of the serum helped him regenerate or whatever. So I don't know. It's an interesting theory with zero proof, but it's interesting.
Well, have you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh, yeah. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That one I can't get behind because they talk about Coulson being pumped full of the Kree blood and whatnot.
And they showed they essentially showed him on the operating table with his brain open and them literally bringing him back to life. So yeah, that would be a stretch, obviously, but and nothing's impossible, I guess. So.
Until it hits movie, until it hits the screen, anything is still a go. So back to Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
What? Did you have any parts of the movie that you just weren't fond of? That you felt were maybe it was just too much? Well,
there was, the Thor thing that we talked about. Yep. Not necessarily too much, but I feel like it didn't get a lot of love. And I feel like Thor's vision of what he was seeing was really... probably could have been confusing for the average viewer because you're seeing Heimdall and the rest of the gods, and that's supposedly something that happens in Thor's future. But I think people were confused. Is that like a flashback? Is he having like PTSD, things like that? The other thing along those lines are when Tony Stark had his flash to the
Wanda
TV, right, zapped him or whatever,
whammy.
And he was on the asteroid in space, and he saw the rest of the team broken and dead and things like that. And then he looked up and he saw the Chitauri going through the wormhole. That was confusing for me personally too, because I'm like, well, are we flashing back because the Chitauri is now dead? So if we're looking to some place in his future, we're saying that these guys are coming back, or is he getting mixed signals? That was a little confusing for me in terms of, was that a flash forward? Was he flashing back? Was he just tripping? But I mean,
I took that part as he didn't want to fail because he kept saying, I failed.
Right.
And my version of it in my brain was that was his moment to, you can't fail. And if he would have failed, he would have been the only one that probably would have survived that nuke going off.
Yeah.
And then the Chitauri still would have been flying through. I guess mine was more of a simplistic approach of, if you screwed up, then this is what would have happened. Everybody would have died, and then the hole would have stayed open, and
right, which makes sense.
Thanos
to a
would have gone down and been like, "What's up, everybody?
Give me those Infinity Stones." Nom 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 nom.
Yeah, great call on all of the Infinity Stones ending up on Earth in some form or fashion.
Yeah,
by the way,
yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, are they all there? Are they?
No,
not all of them, but they're getting close.
Yeah,
they're getting close. And that's why it makes me wonder too for like Guardians 2, if they're going to end up on Earth. Because number one, you have to think that Peter Quill has been gone for 20 some years. He's got to be at least moderately curious about what's going on back at home.
Yeah.
And we know he has one. No, he gave that stone to the Nova Corps.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing saying that they couldn't end up back with that somehow. So I'm trying to remember the Aether, which is the red gem.
That was in Thor, wasn't it?
Yes, that was in Thor, where Malekith and the Dark Elves were using it. But then it ended up in Thor's post-credit scene. Sif and the other the big guy took it to the Collector.
Yep.
So the Collector at brief point had 2 of them, but I don't know where that's ended up now. I'm not sure we've ever heard where the Aether has landed.
I think the Collector still has it. That's my guess.
It's possible, or they might tie in if that big explosion, because Adam Warlock in the comics for a long time, he also had a gem in his forehead.
Just like the Vision.
But I'm sure the Vision took that, because in the comic books, I don't believe that the Vision has an Infinity Gem in his forehead.
He doesn't.
So
he doesn't. And it was the Soul Gem that Warlock had.
Right. So so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out, but
I'm wondering if if Doctor Strange will play into that in any form or fashion.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. It'll be very, very, very interesting.
I would love to see, and I know very little about Ant-Man, but I would love to see that the heist that Ant-Man's going for is to steal an Infinity Gem from somewhere.
I need you to steal something. Okay, what is it? It's a gem. Okay, and it's locked up in
Asgard.
Asgard. Okay, and
what's Asgard? Is it south of Panama?
So Asgard, that's a city in Nevada, right?
Yes.
No, it's not. Well, dang, I don't know of any other way to say that people must watch this movie.
Yeah.
They need to watch this movie.
That's a pretty good way of saying it.
Don't stay till the very end. I stayed to the very end. There was nothing there. I was really hoping for something creative at the end.
Despite what the fake YouTube quote-unquote spoilers would have you believe, there's been a couple different versions of people out there trying to be like, look, I stayed to the end, and pretty convincing fakes, but nothing that is accurate.
I know that I texted you and told you that I stayed.
Yes, you did.
And then I told you that it was Deadpool was at the very end. And it would have made sense. It would have been perfect. Because of the release of the photo, because that was the week after they released the photo of him on the crapper reading his comic book.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would have been awesome. That would have been totally Wheaton if it went to black and then all of a sudden the camera pans over and it's a door that's cracked open and it's Deadpool sitting there just and he looks over and he looks at the camera to break that fourth wall and says, what? He said there was nothing at the end. And then that was it. I'd be like, if they did that, I probably would have punched somebody that was around me.
I mean, it's cool. I'm glad that it didn't happen for the sake of your wife, but who was there?
I wasn't going to punch her. I was going to punch
someone. Okay, the baby sitting next to you then.
Yes, that one. Yes.
Take this, Junior. I don't know how they're going to effectively work Deadpool into the universe, because his movie is going to be... My initial thought right now is no, because he's so different in terms of breaking that fourth wall and be like, I am a character. This is not real. And I don't think that's the vibe they're going for. Even though they have a lot of comedy in the Avengers, they're going for a very gritty, realistic type feel. And I just don't think that Deadpool syncs up with that right now.
So he's not going to be in Infinity War?
I mean, I can't say that for sure.
I'm pretty sure that he is. Is that literally what you just said?
I'm pretty sure he is Thanos. But like when you take the mask off, it's Thanos. But
I'll do it myself.
Yes, I'll do it myself.
Man.
Chimichangas. I mean, I just don't see how it could work. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe I'm way wrong. I hope that I am, but I'm just not sure how it's going to vibe.
Fine. I
don't know. I mean,
fine.
If they can find a way to work Howard the Duck in, they could probably figure out a way to work
but that's James
in.
Gunn. I think James Gunn could just be like, so we're going to put this in?
Yeah, if James Gunn directed Deadpool, I'd be very interested for that. Very interested. I mean, I'm already interested, but I'm very interested if James Gunn.
Oh my goodness.
We'll see. I mean, there are plenty of, because you've got comic book lore, and then now you've got this new Marvel cinematic lore. I mean, hell, in Guardians in the comics, and again, the comics are vastly different. You know, in the comics, the original Guardians existed in the 30th century, and there's this whole thing about trying to find relics of Earth and things like that. You know, they go on a quest to find Captain America's shield. But in one of the stories of the the 30th century Guardians of the Galaxy, they find a large space station that is housing essentially what's left of the human race. And the space station is run by a sentient computer. And you eventually find out, spoilers for those of you who are going to go read the 30th century Guardians stuff, which you should. It's awesome. The sentient computer is Vision.
Yeah.
Vision got downloaded into that computer system, and his job is still to protect humanity. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that things could still potentially tie in the cinematic universe, but it obviously won't be the same as the comics. But that's kind of the cool thing, to kind of wait and see what happens on screen.
Yeah. I like not knowing exactly what happens.
Absolutely.
It makes it fun.
Yep.
Well, what do you guys think? People that are listening to this as you're driving around, pull out your phones. Type something as you're driving.
Pull over first, but then.
Oh. Okay, pull over and then get out of your car and walk down the center of the road and type something on your phone.
Use your voice commands.
Oh, use your voice. Okay. So get out of your car and sit on top of your car.
Come over to our secret lair where we're broadcasting.
Yes.
The address is 123 Thanos Avenue. The
Would
Chitauri asteroid.
Chitauri asteroid.
Asgard, Nevada.
Asgard, Nevada. 46222.
Make a series now called Asgard, Nevada. That sounds phenomenal.
No, that doesn't. I'm not a Thor fan. That doesn't
have to be Thor related. It's a funny name.
It could be. It could be like Reno 911, but it's called Asgard.
Asgard, Nevada.
I would watch a show. That was about like horticulture. If it was called Asgarden.
Asgarden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
I thought it would just be a store that sells really strong undergarments. Asgard, Nevada.
That was a good one. I like that one. Asgard.
Asgard. As seen on TV.
Yeah, that's also the brand of an underwear that they sell in prison.
Ooh. I'll take several pairs if I ever go to prison.
Well, what did you guys think of Age of Ultron? Let us know. This is going to be going out. When is this going to be going out? This is going to be going out in 1, 2. So this will be going out probably the first week of June.
June-ish.
And that means that this episode, we are going to be giving away 2 passes to Indy Pop Con.
Yeah. Come get it.
Bow. Any other sound effects that we can put in there?
Blort.
Shing. Dwang. How should we give them away?
Something Ultron related, I would certainly think.
Ultron related?
Maybe they could send us, either they could tweet us or go on the Facebook page, and they should give us Ultron's best evil one-liner that he didn't say.
Oh. Best? Okay, yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay.
You can go on Twitter or Facebook. You know what? How about this week? Should we do all social or should we just do one social?
We can do one social.
And then next week do it different?
One social. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this week it's going to be Facebook only.
Okay.
Facebook only. Go to Geek Stuff Off the Cuff on Facebook, and then put down your favorite one-liner, your favorite quote from Ultron that he didn't say. Hashtag Asgarden.
Hashtag Asgarden. I was going to say hashtag Ultron should have said, but Asgarden Asgarden works. That's fine.
No. I like that one better. I just wanted to say ass one more time.
Hashtag Ultron should have said.
Hashtag Ultron. Yeah, Ultron.
Ultron should have said.
Do you think people might get confused and put like should have or should of? I like Ultron.
How about hashtag Ultron outtake?
Oh yeah, that's easy. Hashtag Ultron outtake, and we'll pick our top 3.
Yeah.
We'll pick our top 3, and then we'll leave it up to everybody to vote, and we'll put it back out there. Yeah. And whoever gets the most votes by the following Tuesday, because we'll release the polls, if you will, or the polls on maybe the following Monday. So the Monday after you hear this, I have to make notes to make sure I don't forget I'm saying all of this.
Yeah.
That you will win 2 complete passes. Regular passes, not VIP, but 2 passes for Indy Pop Con, and you'll see us there.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Yeah, and then we'll send your quote off to Joss Whedon, who's not doing anything else for.
Nah.
Yeah.
He's got time to kill.
Yeah. Is Ultron dead? I forget at the end of the movie.
Yeah, Vision. Remember, because the one last broken robot comes out, and Vision talks to him.
Oh,
and he was the last surviving one, and they said something like it could have been different or whatever, and then
then he forehead beamed
dead.
him.
So, but I mean, again, in the Marvel Universe, you never know. He could have downloaded. I mean, I know they said he was in a non-download. They broke his download ability or whatever, but
you're in a non-download zone.
He could have AOL dialed it up right beforehand.
wait.
I'll be alive in 17 minutes after this connection's complete.
Doo-doo. You've got mail.
You've got leprosy. Goodbye.
Again? Dang it. All right, cool. Well, yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Hashtag Ultron outtake, and you'll get to win some Indy Pop Con tickets.
You can leave the comments or leave it in the comment section of this show when we post the show. Leave it in that comment thread.
Yes.
And then we'll go from there. And then like I said, we'll find the top 3. We'll go maybe by likes, or we'll repost them, and maybe the one that gets the most likes or whatever.
Yeah.
Will win, so.
Sounds good. Cool. All right, man. Well, enjoy your weekend.
You too. Pachoo.
Did you forget?
That rhymed. No. Dramatic effect.
Oh.